Support to Empower World Mental Health Day Mega Workshop.
A warm and heartfelt namaste to each one of you as we gather here today, not merely as attendees, but as a beautiful tapestry of the Healthy Ram Nirmay Bharat community, a family united in our pursuit of holistic well-being and bound by the thread of care and compassion. Let's start with a prayer, a mantra.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ शान्ति शान्तिः शान्तिः.
In the embrace of ancient chants we stand, a tapestry woven hand in hand, our ancient wisdom a guiding light, nurturing hearts pure and bright. In the tapestry of life, amidst joys and challenges, exists a silent struggle that affects millions across the issue of mental health. As we gather here today, we are reminded of the profound impact it has on individuals, families, and communities. The stigma, discrimination, and neglect prevent care and treatment from reaching people with mental disorders, says WHO. And in this vicious cycle of neglect, there is little or no understanding. And where there is no understanding, there is neglect. Even the caretakers, the family members, and the society as a whole is impacted. In this context, we have joining us in our studio to talk to us Dr. Rohit Verma from the Department of Psychiatry, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi, India. Dr. Rohit does research in psychiatry, psychophysiology, brain mapping, brain stimulation, and cognitive neurosciences. He is also developing mobile-based apps for educating, determining, and intervening in mental health issues, the stigma, and ways to remove it. Welcome, Dr. Rohit. Thank you for joining us in this day.
I thank you, Geeta, as well as Sangeeta ji, along with the whole team and the whole staff of Heal Thy Ram group there for this wonderful initiative. I wish this wonderful initiative goes to a larger audience so that a larger mass can benefit by this approach.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Today we have a few questions for you that I think you would like to answer for us so that our viewers can know more about what mental health is from a professional like you. We are live on healthyram.com and we have questions for Dr. Rohit. So here, let's begin. How can individuals identify early signs of mental health challenges and seek timely support for their well-being? Doctor?
So mental health is a broad terminology wherein disorders as well as not some amount of normal mental health issues or problems can also coexist. So if I say about disorders which makes an individual dysfunctional to a larger extent, then we should talk about set of symptoms which are there, which could be identified by the person themselves sometimes and at times by their family members to notify that they are having some other sort of problem initiation. So illnesses like depression will usually begin with problems in their sleep pattern or problems in their eating habits. And family members can usually identify an altered behavior a change in behavior of persons, and those are the usual symptoms which one can identify in person with mood disorders. Say with person with psychosis or schizophrenias, usually the alteration happens not just in sleep patterns but also in prominently in behavior, that might act awkwardly or posit some awkward sentences to the family members, which is not you like their usual self, which the family members might have observed from a long period of time. So those are the usual things which family members do notice, changes in their mood, sleep patterns, or behaviors, which can help the professional to intervene early in such cases to promote an effective kind of a treatment and a recovery phase for those individuals.
What role does art therapy play in complementing traditional psychiatric approaches for mental health treatment?
Right. So I'm not an expert in art therapy per se, but we do take use or help of professionals. So like psychiatry is not a singular subject which is dealt only by psychiatrists. Mental health professionals are a group of individuals of which psychiatrist is just one individual. And they have other set of individuals like psychologists, vocational rehabilitationists, other set of rehabilitation psychologists, clinical psychologists, and so forth. So one of the modality of treatment approach is an art therapy. There is what I understand, and we usually take help of art therapy as an adjunct to the ongoing treatment, which can complement this already existing treatment of medicinal nature or psychotherapeutic nature, and offer some sort of a creative outlet for that person who suffers from a mental ailment, and it helps them to process their own emotions in a well nurtured way, ability to express themselves in a much more clearer way. So at the end it helps them to improve their kind of mental as well as emotional well-being. So we do use it as an adjunct to the existing traditional methods of medicine as well as therapy there.
Wow. So, how can individuals foster resilience and cope with stressors in today's fast-paced world?
Right. So resilience means the ability to handle stress. So one thing that all individuals should likely foster into their own development is promote self-caring nature. More and more that they care about their own self, not just in terms of body's health, but also mind's health. So strategies like performing mindfulness or taking part in such kind of an activities where personal growth is nurtured is one of the major facet for managing stress effectively. Other facet is seeking social supports. So by the help of those around us, we can build on upon our existing coping strategies so that they can have a more positive outcome towards the kind of stresses that we may face on a day-to-day basis in our lives.
I have another question for you. What are some effective strategies to address the stigma surrounding mental health and promote open conversations in society?
Stigmas arise from personal levels. So it's not an individual who is stigmatized, it's the society as a whole which gets stigmatized. So not just it's not just a notion of an individual, but what he collects information from others around him or her is what creates stigma there. So one of the important facets there I would suggest is educating these kind of communal partners of an individual. So the community as a whole should be educated much more about what mental health is, what kind of problems are occurring in mental milieu of an individual, and what disorders are, what usual positive mental well-being states is, those kind of things. And sharing kind of a personal story by individuals who have already suffered from disorders or even negative well-being state in certain stressful periods would also help out a lot to break this kind of stigmatic position of the society. So encouraging about having more and more open discussions like this format that you are doing are the correct kind of ways by which one can actually develop more wide public sizing of what mental health is and what and how should it be managed or looked after.
Right. So, how can art-based interventions positively impact individuals struggling with anxiety and depression?
Right. So we, and as psychiatrists, believe that mental health is a property of the brain in that sense, brain and mind in that way. So there are circuits, neural circuits in our brain, which are responsible for some or the other set of symptomatologies. Now, once good system existing in our brain is something called as a reward system. So these art-based interventions, they can activate such kind of symptomatology, such kind of neural circuits, and thereby they can help by increasing a sense of accomplishment and joy in individuals, so that they can reduce the symptoms of anxiety or depression in a person there.
Do you think yoga and alternative medicines have a role to play in our wellness?
Absolutely, I think that medicines do not answer all questions, and so does psychotherapy. We do not have all answers to each and every question that an individual possesses in form of symptomatological conditions. So having adjunct therapies like Ayurveda or other conventional treatments, exercises, yoga, mindfulness, all these contribute very significantly to our overall well-being. So that is what we are actually at the end of the day looking forward to. That an individual should be as functional as he or she can, with the amount of positive well-being state of mind as can be fostered upon. So all these holistic approaches with that kind of a mind-body kind of a connection can definitely and positively impact our mental well-beings and emotional well-being status.
Now I would like to hand over to Sangeeta Sharma for her questions
Yeah,
from the audience.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Nikita. It was really nice, lovely questions you had, lovely set of questions. And let me just check. There are some questions which are coming, like Sunil is asking that how long does it take to get off medication, and what are the practices that improve chances to recovery? I think you've partially answered some of the questions, but still briefly, if you could answer that.
Right. How long is a difficult question there. In my understanding, in medical science, cure is a tough word there. We have cures for infection. We can have cure to a certain extent for a lot of operative or surgical procedures there. But majority of the illnesses, it's not psychiatric or mental health. It's about all other branches too. A person from hypertension or diabetes, or thyroid, they are supposed to be on treatment for lifetime, because what has now gone wrong inside their body is not from outside, it is emanating from inside. So doctors, they do well in an approach by scientific ways to change that abnormal altered state of bodily function to the way of normalcy that it should have been. So an antihypertensive medicine makes an hypertensive individual normotensive. Anti-diabetic medication makes a diabetic individual normoglycemic. Individuals who have altered blood pressure levels, high blood pressure levels, when taken medications which are called as antihypertensives, their BP becomes normal.
Sure.
Till the time that they continue on medications. If they
So
stop
basically,
their
we're managing the symptoms, is what
manage
you're
the
saying.
symptoms well enough, because we do not know how the etiology or the cause of that thing has been. Whether it is genes, whether it's environment affecting the genes, whether both of them relating to each other and then manifesting into a symptom pattern. That answer to that question is not available in science as of now for majority of the states. So we try to manage symptoms as well as we can with the available evidence of that science has brought upon.
Fair enough, I think. So I'll move on to the next question. That is from Mansi, and she's saying, if you are living with a family that you can't share your heart with, and you don't have anyone around, like a friend or something, to share your things with, so how should people my age? I think she's from her picture, she's looking like around 16, 17 or 18 maybe. How do they, my age, deal with this? How do people of my age deal with this?
Parents and relatives are someone which are gifted to us by birth.
Yeah.
Friends are something that we can uh, find in our lives.
Yeah, from what she's saying, it seems that she's probably not having friends either right now. So she
That is
doesn't have anybody to share her heart with.
maybe that is some area that she should be looking forward to. That she develop a better friend circle, a better way to handle her social support network. Because the
So
less
is
number of friends there are, the more possibility of stress taking toll on your coping strategies would be.
Sure. I'm just adding to a question, like from my mind, is that, maybe sometimes your friends go abroad, sometimes your friends are, your best friends are there, and it's not something that you can just fake. It comes naturally, and your bond doesn't happen very quickly. And when you're going through emotional problems, you don't want to start, new friendships with strangers. Maybe I don't know. And is there any way to help people cope better with their own environment? And in the, you can't change your environment, but is there a way that,
So
you can,
that is where I think that the role of these adjunct therapies come in. So these
yeah,
kind of art therapies, having a group involvement into maybe yoga or relaxation exercises group is a very wonderful initiative by Nikita and yourself. And I am wholeheartedly there for you. And I would suggest all the viewers there to spread the knowledge and understanding that art therapy and such kind of holistic approaches are meant for a more better well-being states, which
yeah.
just simply following traditional approaches might not occur.
Yeah,
So
addressing the root
much
cause.
better there.
Also, yeah, yoga, Ayurveda, and all those things. Sure. Thank you so much.
I thank you, Gita, as well as Sangeeta ji, along with the whole team of Heal Thy Ram for this wonderful initiative. I wish this wonderful initiative goes to a larger audience so that a larger mass can benefit by this approach.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We indeed feel very blessed to receive this heartwarming support and guidance from Dr. Rohit. And now we request Mr. Venkatesh joining us from our studio to proceed with his discussion with the esteemed guest, Dr. Manchanda, on the topic of homeopathy.
Well, there is a very alarming statistic which is there, and that is for mental health. There are many suicides that take place every day. As per WHO report, 1 out of 4 adults in their lifetime would go through a mental or a neurological disorder, and which is a major cause of illness and disability. Well, today we are celebrating World Mental Health Day, and it's extremely important to understand mental health and its implications. Often we do not realize what's going on within the confines of our minds, or anybody's mind for that matter. Physical ailments, easy to see, easy to diagnose, and you can relate and empathize or even understand what the person is going through. But many times it so happens that even the person who's undergoing a mental health issue or a challenge is not aware of what really is going on. And it's extremely important to understand mental health and the importance of mental health that it has in our daily lives. So today on this journey, we would be looking at the integrated relationship between homeopathy and mental health. And to guide us and shed some more light on this in our studio today, we are very fortunate to have with us the former Director General of Central Council of Research for Homeopathy, Government of India, Dr. Manchanda. Welcome to the studio. And he's of course held many the posts and positions. Also was the former Director of Department of Ayush with Government of Delhi, India again. So welcome Dr. Manchanda to the show.
Namaskar.
So first up, we dive in my first question, and most of the viewers and audience would also have, is what is homeopathy, if you can explain briefly, and how does it relate to mental health?
Homeopathy is a unique system of medicine that treats patients holistically. Holistically means that for the treatment and management of, as a matter of fact, any disease, you have to consider mental state of the patient as well as his physical symptoms. Homeopathy believes that every disease, even if it is any physical disease, somewhere start from thinking.
Right.
So homeopathy has a very close relation with mental health. In homeopathy, we believe that if we are able to address mental health in any patient, his all physical problems will also eventually disappear, will also be cured. So when we treat patient with homeopathic remedies, we consider that remedy that covers not only the physical problem, but mental state of the patient. And this is the reason you might have seen that whenever anybody goes to homeopathic doctor, he beside taking care of his physical symptoms, his physical, you can say, diagnosis, his investigations and all other things, whatever is required according to for the management of the case, he also takes interest in understanding the mental state of the patient.
Right.
What kind of mental state, how patient is responding, what patient is thinking about his physical condition, and what are his circumstances, his familial circumstances. All these things are taken into account. So homeopathy per se treats a patient holistically, wherein mental health is a very, very important ingredient.
Right. Very rightly said. So, how do the homeopathic remedies differ from medical conventional medicines or medications when treating mental health disorders?
Actually, in homeopathy, we divide mental health disorders in different groups. I'll just tell you, not going into too much philosophical details, I will just tell you that there are certain mental conditions which are as a reaction to some of the temporary circumstances. And there are others which are more chronic in nature and are somewhere genetic in nature. And then there are certain mental diseases or symptoms which are related to some physical illness. And there are certain physical illnesses also, like peptic ulcer, like many, which are psychosomatic in nature.
Right.
Irritable bowel syndrome, psychosomatic in nature. So homeopathy treats all these groups of disorders very separately and with a intricate process. When we come to homeopathic remedies, these remedies are different from the conventional remedies because number one, they are diluted medicines, where safety of the medicine is absolutely assured. We prescribe on the holistic picture of the patient in every case, whether a patient is having mental health problem or even a physical psychosomatic problem. We take into account his mental condition at that particular time and select a remedy that covers all the symptoms. It is a syndromic kind of approach.
Right.
And these medicines are, because they are highly diluted, they are having no side effects and stimulate body's own defense system that treats the patient, that addresses the symptoms of the patient and treats him not only his physical condition but also the mental health at the same time. In that case, I would just like to say that homeopathy is very close to what the WHO definition of health is concerned, that you have not only to consider that whether there is a physical symptoms or not, but you have to take into account the physical, mental as well as social well-being of the patient.
Right.
So homeopathy covers all these things very comprehensively, and our remedies are in a very diluted form, so they are absolutely safe.
Very interesting, very right. Of course, overall holistic health includes, as you said, physical, mental, emotional, social, everything. And so many times it is that your ailments also can cause you mental stress.
Absolutely.
Just the fact that, I have something broken, or as I can say, any other disease, and which causes stress and anxiety to the patient, which further aggravates conditions and situations.
So when you take homeopathy, all these anxieties and all those stresses all are taken care of by the medicine as well as by the counseling that doctor gives while doing case taking. So this is also very important part of homeopathy.
I know I've personally, of course, been fortunate enough to have, I would say, healed with homeopathy, certain, ailments and things which I won't say that conventional medicine does not address it, but then again, a holistic approach of combining, different modalities, I think that works the best.
Absolutely.
So I absolutely can relate to that. So, are there any specific, homeopathic remedies which, are recommended for, say, mental health issues, or is it something? It's everything is very, very specific.
No, I think in homeopathy the remedies are very specific, but there are still certain biochemic remedies.
Right.
Like I have seen people for relaxing, they take Califos, biochemic remedies. But if we have to use, which is biochemic, I often consider as a sister concern of homeopathy, because they are biochemical salts. If you take these medicine even for long run, they are non-habit forming. They are absolutely safe, and that gives you relaxation. So people often use Califos, 5-Fos for mental health issues.
Right. So, just for the benefit of viewers, when you say the salt-based and homeopathy, just quickly, if you could differentiate between, so that they can understand, what.
No. I'll tell you. In homeopathy, one is that you have to take a comprehensive symptomatic approach, wherein you select one or two remedies according to the individual. The other is biochemic salt, wherein one of the biochemic salt, Califos, is often related to relaxation of the mind. So whenever you will find any homeopathic combination on any homeopathic drug, they often contain this remedy. But there are other herbal remedies also which are used in different potencies in homeopathy for giving that kind of relaxation.
Okay, fantastic.
But those are very specific to the person, and that are required to be done by that exercise of selecting that medicine has to be done by a qualified homeopathic doctor.
Okay, we also have Shilpa Mittal, our expert nutritionist, the founder of Shilp's NutriLife, right? And she's
right.
Okay. Okay. So she has joined us online, and we go and chat with her. And Venkatesh, she will continue the chat with Dr. Manchanda in the studio. And we promise to make the full recording available to you separately on Healthyram TV at healthyram.com. I welcome you to Healthyram, and we would like to start about, like, what is your understanding about our platform, and we would like you to say just a few words about what you feel about it.
Okay, so regarding your platform, I'm very new to it, but I'm very impressed with the way the things are presented on your platform. So I personally, when it was the first time and when you all were interacting, things are quite well, I would say you all have really curated it quite well, very easy for any layman to understand. And I'm happy that you all are not just tackling at one aspect. It is, you have collaborated with so many people, not just, at one aspect, maybe not just allopathy, but also natural ways of healing. And that's what I am impressed with that thing. Considering mental health also, like you have invited people from various fields, which actually gives a person a holistic view about the mental health. So when we talk about mental health, it is not just the psychologist or the psychiatrist who are definitely, they play an important role, but yes, what a person eats and the healing and the doctor, all this also are very important. So I think this is a very nice initiative to get, at least to create awareness and to let people know as to what all things they need to do if they have any kind of mental issues.
Absolutely. And nutrition also, as we all are very well aware, plays a very crucial role in mental health as well. I'm sure, because a lot of people don't know that we concentrate on our physical health, our external health, but even I firmly believe, and I would like you to highlight it further, that nutrition does have a very critical role also, apart from, because medicines, I think there's a very famous saying that, if you eat your food like your medicine, you don't need to eat your medicine as your food. So we would like to, really utilize your expertise and your expert comments on, like, my first question to you would be that how does nutrition impact mental health? And what are some of the nutrient, rich food that support emotional well-being and a person's, inner self?
Yes, so a very good question. First is, how does food impact your mental health? Because there is very less awareness about it. But yes, food has a long-term as well as a short-term impact on your mental health. There have been various studies, and now nutrition and mental health is extensively studied. I can put it up this way. I would quote a Hindi saying here, "Jaisa an vaisa man." So the way you eat, you behave, or everything, the brain processes things like that. So when I was small, I used to listen from my grandparents that if you eat a lot of spicy food, the person will be a kind of an angry personality. So when now after growing up, when I take my clients recall, and when I ask them about their likes, dislikes, and when I relate, yes, I would not say 100%, but yes, somewhere I can relate to those clues. So
Okay.
yes, whatever you eat definitely impacts your mental health. And now coming to the second part as to what are some of the foods which will support your emotional well-being, because when I see my patients, apart from the clinical conditions, each and every one of us do have some, maybe a major or a minor mental issue. So I will tell you quickly some foods which you can use in your day-to-day life and which will support your emotional health. One I would say is something like foods which have happy chemicals. Now, what are those? So, when you eat certain foods, you feel really good. You need to just introspect. I'm not talking about the junk food. We all feel happy. But then that happiness, if we really think back, that happiness is not long lived. So, say maybe if I like a burger or a pizza and I eat, I'll feel very
You get
happy
a
for
certain
that
spike,
moment.
and then, yeah.
Yes, but the same thing, if we try and relate to healthy foods, so the thing I was talking about, happy chemicals, they are serotonin, which makes you feel good. So all your whole grains, beans, lentils, the fresh fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, these are some of the natural foods which will help you generate these happy chemicals. So over a period of time, when you include them regularly in your diet, you will notice that yeah, you're in a better position to handle your emotional health. The next I come to is fats. So you will be surprised to know that we are fat headed. Yes, when I say fat headed means 60% of our brain is made up of fat. So now fats play a major role. So a person on a diet who's cut down on fat, you can never expect the person's mood to be really good. So if you
And
come
you
across
see
a
a lot of
person,
people, wanting to avoid ghee. Nahi, ghee nahi khana. So that's not correct. That
yes.
Sure.
So
Sure.
60%, so I would not say कि आपकी diet आप change कर लो and majority fats, but yes, whatever fat allowance is there for you, वो कोशिश कीजिए कि good fat से आ रहा है. So what
Healthy
are good
fats.
fats? Yeah, they are omega-3 basically. That's what the brain cell membranes and everything are made up of. So it is basically your walnuts, your almonds, your flax seeds, and if you eat non-vegetarian food, then fatty fishes like salmon, mackerel, tuna, all this have abundant of good fat. So try and include them in your diet. The next is fruits and vegetables. Now, fruits and vegetables are very important because they give you antioxidants. Now, what are these antioxidants? They basically protect your brain from any kind of harmful substance. So, we are going out every day, pollution here. There are so many things around. So, we create a lot of pollutants or toxins enter in our body, and these fruits and vegetables are able to neutralize them ताकि हमारे ब्रेन पे ज्यादा डैमेज नहीं हो. So that is other thing. Then we have something called probiotics, which are generally found in fermented foods, and they are good bacteria. So if your gut is healthy, your brain will definitely, or your mind will automatically be healthy, and we will look into it further also. The next is magnesium rich food. So magnesium is not so much talked about nutrients, but yes, a lot of studies have shown that, I mean, even
Very
I deal
important.
with, yes, a lot of mental health patients. When I supplement them, because maybe for a normal person who doesn't have a major mental issue, just including foods rich in magnesium will help. But when some people with actual mental issues come to me, I have to at times supplement them with magnesium, and I have found tremendous improvement in their mental health. So they are very easy to get. Just have a handful of nuts or include some kind of green leafy vegetables at least 3 to 4 times in a week, and you are good to go with magnesium. The next is carbs. So carbs बुरा है नहीं, ये हमें हमेशा लगता है carbs is bad. but brain
Overdo.
needs carbs also. Yes.
Yeah.
So brain बिना carbs के नहीं चलेगा आपको because whatever you eat gets converted into glucose and that only can be utilized by brain. वो प्रोटीन जो भी आप खा रहे हो सब ग्लूकोज में कन्वर्ट होके ही ब्रेन को जाता है. So now we talk about carbs which are primary source of glucose. So carbs have to be complex. When I say complex means जहाँ पे उसके साथ fiber हो. So all your jawar, bajra, the millets category basically which are rich in fibers. So if you eat those, they give you energy slow and steadily. एक साथ झटका देके energy increase हो गई
Spike नहीं होगा,
फटाफट
हाँ.
drop. Right, that doesn't happen. So always remember to have good carbs. And last but not least is water. So water plays a very important
Very
role.
important.
Even, I mean, you can relate. If the day you drink less water, आप थोड़ा cranky हो सकते हो. Because water is something which helps in moving around of the nutrients, transportation, lot of functions the water does. So very important to have a good water intake. So basically connecting more to nature, natural foods is something जो आपके emotional health के लिए आपको help करेगा. And yes, not to forget less of sugar related food, especially the bakery items, आपके मिठाई and stuff like that. And yes, if you drink too much of caffeine or alcohol, even that is going to affect your emotional health. Because again जैसे हमने स्पाइक की बात की, so maybe you're tired और या आपको ज्यादा वर्क करना है, so you have cups and cups of coffee. That is going to definitely make you feel good, it will keep you awake, but जो damage brain को हो रहा है, you will not be in a position to even, I mean, see the damage that is happening. So try and avoid caffeine related products, especially, I mean, don't overdo it basically.
थैंक यू सो मच. आई थिंक आपने तो एक ही क्वेश्चन में सारा A to Z हमें बता दिया. थैंक यू सो मच. एंड आई रिमेम्बर आपका जो पहला वाला आपने एक कमेंट बोला था कि जिसमें मुझे जो आप खा रहे हैं तो ब्रेन से कनेक्शन, उसका एक गट ब्रेन कनेक्शन का भी एक देयर इज अ कॉन्सेप्ट. So I wanted you to explain a little bit about like how is the gut and brain connected and what is that concept, and can you explain the gut brain connection and how a balanced diet can contribute to a better cognitive function? Like वो I think आपने काफी हद तक उसको टच कर लिया है, but आप स्पेसिफिक इस पे आप हमें थोड़ा सा बताइए.
Yes, नहीं उस पे तो काफी बात हो सकती है because nowadays there is so much of research.
बहुत शॉर्ट में बताइए. और आपका हमारे पास कनेक्शन है नीचे, हम वो भी मेंशन कर देंगे. एंड हेल्दी राम पे यू ऑल द ऑडियंस whenever you want to contact her, you can connect to her, you can book an appointment with her. So it's there on healthyram.com. You can please go ahead and book and have one-to-one chat with her directly, pertaining to your own problem and your own requirements and your own needs. But for now, we're just trying to cover generally for everyone, general do's and don'ts for everyone. As I say this, I can see Danish Iqbal ji, and he has already joined us, and it is also about time that he should start with the musical and cultural program with the artists who are also ready and waiting. There's so much more that we wish to talk to you about, but I will continue this chat with Shilpa ji separately and make it available at the Healthy Ram TV at a later point of time at healthyram.com. And for now, I hand over to Danish Saab, and I can see he is waiting along with his very beautiful artist colleagues, Richa and Nilakshi ji. I welcome our performing artists to join us on the panel. Over to Danish Saab.
जी, तो के शिल्पा मित्तल जी ने आपको बताया कि किस तरह की चीजें खाने से फायदा हो सकता है. तो आप जानते हैं कि एक तो खाना हम अपनी बॉडी के लिए खाते हैं, जिस्म के लिए खाते हैं, और एक खाना जो है रूह का खाना है. शेक्सपियर ने जो कहा है म्यूजिक के बारे में, तो म्यूजिक है और आर्ट है और जो लिटरेचर है, ये भी एक तरह का न्यूट्रिशन है जो हम अपनी बॉडी को नहीं देते हैं, हम अपनी रूह को देते हैं, अपनी आत्मा को देते हैं, अपने अंतर मन को देते हैं. तो मुझे ये जिम्मेदारी दी गई है कि मैं उस तरह की न्यूट्रिशन की बात करूं, और कुछ म्यूजिक की बात करूं, कुछ लिटरेचर की बात करूं, और कुछ डांसेस की और दूसरी आर्ट फॉर्म्स हैं। तो आज के इस सेक्शन में हमारे साथ होंगी ऋचा प्रकाश, जो कि मेरी स्टूडेंट है, एंड आई एम सो प्राउड ऑफ हर, क्योंकि बहुत ही टैलेंटेड सिंगर हैं। और हमारी बहुत अच्छी दोस्त है नीलाक्षी, वो भी हमारे साथ होंगी, और आपको काफी अच्छा लगेगा इन लोगों से मिलके और इनके आर्ट को समझ के, और जिस तरह से ये अपनी आर्ट का इस्तेमाल मेंटल हेल्थ इश्यूज के लिए कर रहे हैं, जो वो बहुत अच्छा लगता है हम सबको। तो चलिए बात शुरू करते हैं लिटरेरी मास्टरपीसेस की। और देखिए कि जो वर्ल्ड लिटरेचर है, जो पूरी दुनिया का लिटरेचर है, वो एक कंबाइंड एक्सपीरियंस हमको देता है मैनकाइंड का। तो अगर सिर्फ हम अपने लिटरेचर तक सीमित रहते हैं, जैसे कि मान लीजिए हिंदी लिटरेचर या पंजाबी लिटरेचर या उर्दू लिटरेचर, तो हमारा जो होराइजन है वो छोटा होता जाता है। तो मैं एक बहुत मशहूर नॉवेल है केन कैसी की, जिसका नाम था वन फ्लू ओवर ककूज नेस्ट। ये नॉवेल जो है, ये एक लाइफ चेंजिंग नॉवेल है। और जब आप उसे पढ़ते हैं इस नॉवेल को, तो ऐसा लगता है कि आपकी दुनिया बदल गई, क्योंकि आप एक ऐसी दुनिया से परिचित होते हैं जो मेंटल हेल्थ की दुनिया है, जो हमारी बेचैनियों की, उलझनों की दुनिया है, जो ऐसे इश्यूज की दुनिया है जिससे हम रोजाना एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं लेकिन किसी से कह नहीं पाते। और आप सबको याद होगा, अगर आप इस नॉवेल को नहीं पढ़ सकते, तो इस पे फिल्म बनी थी और उसको ऑस्कर मिला था। तो वन फ्लू ओवर ककूज नेस्ट, ये जरूर एक्सपीरियंस कीजिए। सिल्विया प्लैथ हमारी बहुत मशहूर कवित्री हैं। तो उनकी एक ऑटोबायोग्राफिकल नॉवेल है, उसका नाम है बेल जार, द बेल जार। आपको जब भी मौका मिले आप उसे पढ़ें और दूसरों को पढ़वाएं। मैं समझता हूँ ये भी कई खिड़कियां हमारे ज़हन के अंदर की, अंतर्मन की खोलता है ये नॉवेल। और ये सचमुच किसी की लाइफ है। और सिल्विया प्लाथ जो है जीनियस थी, और बहुत ही खूबसूरत राइटर थी, बहुत ही खूबसूरत शायर थी। इसी तरह से द येलो वॉलपेपर, चार्लोट परकिंस गिलमैन की एक छोटी सी सुंदर सी शॉर्ट स्टोरी है। और ये शॉर्ट स्टोरी भी ऑलमोस्ट लाइफ चेंजिंग है। इसको भी अगर आप एक्सपीरियंस करें, अपनी बकेट लिस्ट में डाल दें कि कभी भी जब भी आपको मौका मिलेगा आप इसे पढ़ेंगे। अभी हाल के दिनों में एक नॉवेल बहुत मशहूर हुई, बहुत पॉपुलर हुई, और अच्छी बात है कि पॉपुलर हुई, क्योंकि उसने ये जो हमारी उलझनों की दुनिया है, बेचैनियों की, बेकरारियों की अंदरूनी दुनिया है, और खासतौर से जो औरतों और लड़कियों के इश्यूज हैं, बिकॉज उनको बहुत ज्यादा बाहर जाने का मौका नहीं मिलता, उनकी सेफ्टी, सिक्योरिटी, फिजिकल सिक्योरिटी। तो गर्ल इंटरप्टेड, सुसाना केसर की नावल है, जो कि बेस्ट सेलर है, और मैं चाहूंगा कि आप इसे पढ़ें। काफका का मेटामॉर्फोसिस एक बहुत ही रेवोल्यूशनरी मास्टरपीस है, और मुझे इस बात का गर्व प्राप्त है कि मैंने उसे ड्रामे की फॉर्म में किया। उसमें यह है कि एक इंसान है जो कि बहुत रूटीन सा जॉब करता है, जैसा कि हम सब जॉब करते हैं, और एक दिन उसे मालूम होता है, एहसास होता है कि वो कीड़ा बन गया, वो अब इंसान नहीं बचा। और इसको हम फिजिकली दिखाते हैं स्टेज पे कि वो एक वॉर्म बन गया है। तो इंसान जो है, जब उसको वैल्यू नहीं मिलती है, उसकी जिंदगी में कोई मीनिंग नहीं होती है, तो वो कुछ भी बन सकता है। तो वो अंदर से भी बन सकता है कीड़ा, और बाहर की दुनिया भी उसे कीड़े की तरह ट्रीट करती। तो ये एक मास्टरपीस है, और काफका जीनियस थे। काफका का जो बात कहने का अंदाज था, वो बहुत मेटाफोरिकल था। तो मैं समझता हूँ मेटामॉर्फोसिस एक मास्टरपीस है। एंड द पर्क्स ऑफ बीइंग ए वॉल फ्लावर, ये स्टीफन चबॉस्की का मास्टरपीस है। इट इज ए कमिंग ऑफ एज नॉवेल अबाउट मेंटल हेल्थ इश्यूज। इसी तरह से जूडिथ गेस्ट का ऑर्डिनरी पीपल, ये भी इसी सब्जेक्ट पे है। और मिसेस डैलोवे बाय वर्जीनिया वुल्फ, तो ये तो जीनियस थी, और इन्हीं ने जितनी खूबसूरती के साथ इन इश्यूज को अपने इस नॉवेल में पेश किया है। अच्छा, हाल के दिनों में आपने सुना होगा कि लोग कहते हैं दवाओं से बहुत कुछ हो जाता है। तो प्रोजैक एक दवा थी जो यूरोप में बहुत पॉपुलर हुई। तो एलिजाबेथ वुड्सल ने एक नॉवेल लिख डाला पूरा, एक तरह का मेमोयर है वो, उसका नाम है प्रोजैक नेशन, यानी एक पूरा नेशन, एक पूरी कौम, एक पूरी जनरेशन, एक जनरेशन क्यों कह रहा हूं, कई जनरेशंस ये समझ रही थी कि प्रोजैक खाने से कुछ हो जाएगा, लेकिन असली इशू कहीं और था। तो ये मास्टरपीसेस हैं जो कि वर्ल्ड लिटरेचर के हैं, और मैं समझता हूं कि इनको पढ़ने से, इनको समझने से, इन पे गौर करने से, इन पे बात करने से हम बहुत कुछ समझ सकते हैं, अपने को बदल सकते हैं, दूसरों को बदल सकते हैं। अब आइए अपनी बात करते हैं। हमारे एक जीनियस थे स्वदेश दीपक, जो कि मेंटल हेल्थ इश्यूज को ही फेस कर रहे थे, और हमारे दोस्त अरविंद गौड़ उनका एक नाटक करते रहते हैं कोर्ट मार्शल, बहुत ही खूबसूरत नाटक है उनके, और बस एक दिन वो गायब हो गए, किसी को नहीं मालूम कि वो कहाँ चले गए, क्योंकि वो इन्हीं सारे इश्यूज से मतलब स्ट्रगल कर रहे थे। इसी तरह से हिंदी के बहुत बड़े राइटर थे भुवनेश्वर, भुवनेश्वर को आखिरी बार किसी पुल पे किसी इंसान ने बैठे हुए देखा, आज तक उनके बारे में पता नहीं चलता। वो भी एक जीनियस थे और प्लेराइट थे। सागर सिद्दीकी बहुत ही अच्छे शायर हैं, कभी आप उनकी कविताएं रेख्ता पे देखें। मीरा जी, मीरा जी उर्दू के एक जीनियस शायर थे, और वो भी इन्हीं तरह के इश्यूज को देख रहे थे। अब मैं सबूत के तौर पे मीरा जी की एक कविता आपके साथ शेयर करना चाहूंगा, जिसमें वो समंदर की बात करते हैं, और ये जो समंदर है ये हमारी उलझनों, हमारी फिक्रों, हमारी वहशतों और हमारी अंदरूनी इंटरनल बेचैनियों का समंदर है। ये समंदर इंसान को बुलाता रहता है। तो आप ये भी कह सकते हैं कि ये कविता जो है हेलुसिनेशंस की कविता है। ये कविता जो है मन के अंदर की दुनिया की उथल पुथल की कविता है। हमारे अंदर से आने वाली आवाजों की ये बात करती है, और ऐसी आवाजों की बात करती है जो लगता है कि कभी आसमान से आ रही है। उर्दू में ऐसी आवाज को निदा कहते हैं, आकाशवाणी यानी निदा। और कुछ सदाएं, कुछ आवाजें विस्पर्स की सूरत में हम तक पहुंचती हैं। तो अब ये कविता मैं पेश करना चाहूंगा आपके सामने। वो कहते हैं, ये सरगोशियां कह रही हैं, अब आओ कि बरसों से तुमको बुलाते बुलाते मेरे दिल पे गहरी थकन छा रही। ये कौन बोल रहा है? ये बेचैनियों का समंदर इंसान से बात कर रहा है। ये सरगोशियां कह रही हैं, अब आओ के बरसों से तुमको बुलाते बुलाते मेरे दिल पे गहरी थकन छा रही है। कभी एक पल को, कभी एक अरसा सदाएं सुनी है, मगर ये अनोखी निदा आ रही है। बुलाते बुलाते तो कोई ना अब तक थका है, ना आइंदा शायद थकेगा। मेरे प्यारे बच्चे, मुझे तुमसे कितनी मोहब्बत है। देखो देखो, अगर यूं किया बुरा मुझसे बढ़कर न कोई भी होगा। इसके बाद जो पोएट है वो कहते हैं, खुदाया खुदाया, कभी एक सिसकी, कभी एक तबस्सुम, कभी सिर्फ त्योरी, मगर ये सदाएं तो आती नहीं है। इन्हीं से हयाते दो रोजा अबद से मिली है। मगर ये अनोखी निदा जिस पे गहरी थकन छा रही है, ये हर एक सदा को मिटाने की धमकी दिए जा रही है। अब आंखों में जुम्बिश, न चेहरे पे कोई तबस्सुम, त्योरी, फकत कान सुनते चले जा रहे हैं। ये एक गुलिस्तां है। ये जिंदगी या हमारे अंदर की दुनिया कभी अच्छी भी हो जाती है। ये एक गुलिस्तां है, हवा लहलहाती है, कलियां चटकती हैं, पुंचे महकते हैं और फूल खिलते हैं, खिल खिल के मुरझा के गिरते हैं, एक फर्शे मखमल बनाते हैं जिस पर मेरी आरज़ू मेरी आरज़ुओं की परियां अजब आन से यूं रवां हैं कि जैसे गुलिस्तां ही एक आईना है। इसी आईने से हर एक शक्ल निखरी, संवर कर मिटी और मिठी गई, फिर न उभरी। उसके बाद वो कहते हैं कि ये पर्वत है साकिन खामोश, मगर कोई चश्मा उबलते हुए इससे मुझसे पूछता है कि इसकी चट्टानों के उस पार क्या है। मगर मुझको पर्वत का दामन ही काफी है। दामन में वादी है, वादी में नदी है, नदी में बहती हुई नाव ही आईना है। इसी आईने में एक शक्ल उभरी, और उसके बाद वो आखिर में कहते हैं कि बुलाते बुलाते तो कोई ना अब तक थका है, शायद थकेगा। तो फिर ये निदा आईना है, फकत मैं थका हूं। न सहरा, न पर्वत, न कोई गुलिस्तां, फकत अब समंदर बुलाता है मुझको, कि हर शय समंदर से आई, समंदर में जाकर मिलेगी। तो ये एक कविता है, आप इसे ध्यान से सुने तो इसमें आपको बहुत से मेटाफर्स मिलेंगे, बहुत सी
ताली बजा
मीनिंग्स
दो।
मिलेंगी। जी
बहुत ही खूबसूरत, इतना खूबसूरत, आप तो हमेशा ही इतना प्यारा बोलते हैं और इतना सुंदर बोलते हैं कि हमारे पास शब्द नहीं है आपकी तारीफ करने के। दानिश साहब, थैंक यू सो मच, आपने इतना सुंदर किया। और आपने नीलाक्षी और उनको आप थोड़ा इंट्रोड्यूस कर दीजिए। एंड
जी
नेक्स्ट गेस्ट हैज आल्सो अराइव्ड, सो वी विल
जी जी
वांट टू थैंक यू सो मच दानिश
जी
साहब।
जी, मुझे इस बात का फख्र है, इस बात का गर्व प्राप्त है कि नीलाक्षी जैसी सेंसिटिव आर्टिस्ट जो हैं, वो हमारी दोस्त हैं और हमारे साथ कोलैबोरेट करती रहती हैं। नीलाक्षी बहुत सारे काम करती हैं, वो बहुत अच्छी सिंगर हैं, बहुत अच्छी डांसर हैं और सबसे बढ़कर एक बहुत अच्छी इंसान है। और अभी मेरी तरह उन्होंने भी जिंदगी में बहुत कुछ खोया, और जब हम बहुत कुछ खो देते हैं तो हमें लगता है कि हम अंदर से खाली हो चुके हैं, तो एक मीनिंगलेसनेस आ जाती है। लेकिन नीलाक्षी उस मीनिंगलेसनेस को अपनी आर्ट के जरिए से मीनिंग दे रही हैं, और हम जैसे बहुत से लोगों को उम्मीद की एक किरण भी देती हैं, सहारा भी देती हैं, और मेहनत किए जा रही हैं। तो आइए देखते हैं कि उनकी आर्ट आपसे क्या कहती है।
There is an indefinable, mysterious power that pervades everything. I feel it, though I do not see it. For I can see that in the midst of death, life exists. In the midst of untruth, truth. Hence I gather that God is life, He is love, He is the supreme good.
निर्
तो देखिए हमारे जैसे लोग जो है उन्हें तो अब डायनासोर कहा जाएगा क्योंकि हम लोग काफी पुराने हो चुके हैं और कई बार हमें लगता है कि क्या हम आज भी रेलेवेंट हैं और नीलाक्षी जो है वो हमारे बाद की जनरेशन से ताल्लुक रखती हैं लेकिन हम वो भी देखा जाए तो सीनियर हैं नई जनरेशन वो किस तरह से इन इश्यूज को देखती है तो ऋचा जो है उसका प्रतिनिधित्व करती हैं यहाँ पे क्योंकि वो बहुत यंग है और हमारी बहुत ही अच्छी टैलेंटेड स्टूडेंट हैं और खुशी की बात यह है कि वो बहुत सेंसिटिव हैं और एक बडिंग फिल्म मेकर हैं और इस तरह के जो मेंटल हेल्थ के इश्यूज हैं जो हमारी अंदरूनी दुनिया की बातें करते हैं मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है कि अगर नई जनरेशन को इन इश्यूज की अवेयरनेस हो और वो अपनी आर्ट के जरिए अपनी क्राफ्ट के जरिए इसको हाईलाइट करें तो हम सोसाइटी की समाज की बहुत अच्छी मदद कर सकते हैं उनका साथ दे सकते हैं तो ओवर टू रिचा।
अगली प्रस्तुति जो मैं करना चाहूँगी वो है आज चल के तुझे मैं लेके चलूँ। आई होप आप सभी एंजॉय करें। चल के तुझे मैं लेके चलूं एक ऐसी गगन के तले जहाँ गम भी ना हो आंसू भी ना हो बस प्यार ही प्यार पले। चल के तुझे मैं लेके चलूं एक ऐसी गगन के तले जहाँ गम भी ना हो भी ना हो बस प्यार ही प्यार करे एक ऐसी गगन के तले। सूरज की पहली किरण से आशा का सवेरा जागे सूरज की पहली किरण से आशा का सवेरा जागे चंदा की किरण से धुलकर घनघोर अंधेरा भागे चंदा की किरण से धुलकर घनघोर अंधेरा भागे कभी धूप खिले कभी छाँव मिले लंबी सी डगर न खले जहाँ गम भी न हो आंसू भी न हो बस प्यार ही प्यार करे एक ऐसी गगन के तले। जहाँ दूर नजर दौड़ाए आजाद गगन लहराए जहाँ दूर नजर दौड़ाए आजाद गगन लहराए जहाँ रंग बिरंगे पंछी आशा का संदेशा लाए जहाँ रंग बिरंगे आशा का संदेशा लाए सपनों में पली हंसती वो कली जहाँ शाम सुहानी ढले जहाँ गम भी ना हो आंसू भी ना हो बस प्यार ही प्यार पले एक ऐसी गगन के तले। सपनों के ऐसे जहां में जहां प्यार ही प्यार खिला हो हम जाके वहां खो जाए शिकवा न कोई गिला हो कहीं बैर न हो कोई गैर न हो सब मिल प्यार ही प्यार पले, चल के तुझे मैं लेके चलूं एक ऐसी गगन के तले, जहाँ गम भी ना हो आंसू भी ना हो, बस प्यार ही प्यार पले, एक ऐसी गगन के तले, एक ऐसी गगन के तले, एक ऐसी गगन के तले।
तो देखिए, हमको एक छोटी सी जिम्मेदारी दी गई थी कि हम आपसे ये बात कहने की कोशिश करें, समझाने की कोशिश करें, बताने की कोशिश करें कि आर्ट के जरिए, म्यूजिक के जरिए, लिटरेचर के जरिए हम इन तरह के इश्यूज की समझ खुद में कैसे पैदा कर सकते हैं और दूसरों को कैसे दे सकते हैं। तो हमारी ये एक छोटी सी कोशिश थी। मुझे लगता है कि आज जो हम लोगों ने यहाँ पे बातें की हैं, और खासतौर से जिन किताबों के यहाँ पे हवाले दिए गए हैं, अगर आप उन्हें पढ़ें और दूसरों से पढ़ने के लिए कहें, तो एक बहुत अच्छी समझ इन बातों की हमारे अंदर पैदा हो सकती है। जी, तो इसके साथ ही मैं आप सबका शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहूंगा कि आपने हम लोगों को इस महफिल में शिरकत का मौका दी। जी, बहुत शुक्रिया।
That was mesmerizing. Thank you so much, Tanuji, and our lovely artists Richa and Nilakshi. Just to update our viewers, as we had very limited time, Yogacharya Dhakaramji's talk. We are thankful to him for joining us online for an enlightening chat with Venkatesh in a separate setting. We shall convey his brilliant words of wisdom to you, and I thank him once again for being generous with contributing his time. Here is a glimpse of the discussion going on.
मेडिकल योगा जो है उस पे अच्छा एक हाथ है, तो मैं उस पे काम करता हूँ। तो अल्टरनेटिव थेरेपी का और योग का मेंटल हेल्थ पे 100% इफेक्ट है। और योग का तो कहना ही क्या, अगर दूसरे किसी भी हीलिंग के साथ, वैसे तो योग अपने आप में कंप्लीट है
जी,
जैसा कि एवरीबॉडी नो इट्स वर्क इन बॉडी माइंड एंड सोल, कंप्लीट होलिस्टिक अप्रोच रखता है योग। फिर भी जितने भी अल्टरनेटिव थेरेपी के साथ अगर योग को ऐड कर देंगे तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि सोने पे सुहागा हो जाएगा।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
100% रिफ्लेक्स किया जा सकता है, लेकिन हड़बड़ी में गड़बड़ी होती है। व्हाट आई वांट टू से, एलोपैथिक भी अपनी जगह बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। मैं हर पैथी का रिस्पेक्ट करता हूँ। एलोपैथिक जरूरत से ज्यादा होने पर बॉडी में हार्म होता अलग बात है, अदरवाइज इमरजेंसी में एलोपैथिक वंडरफुल सिस्टम। नो डाउट कि मेंटल हेल्थ में अगर एलोपैथिक ले रहे हैं तो धीरे धीरे उसके डोज को रिड्यूस करके एक दिन हम नील पे आ सकते हैं। आप समझ रहे हैं? अगर मैं किसी चीज को एकदम से मेडिसिन चल रहा है और मैं कहूंगा कि आप बंद करके सीधे आप योग पर आ जाइए, ऐसा मैं नहीं कहता। मैं उसकी दवाइयां बंद कराता हूं, या अपने आप में कराने वाला कोई नहीं होता। मतलब योग अगर नियमित सही प्रकार से सही मायने में करेंगे तो अपने आप दवाइयां कम हो जाएंगी, बंद भी हो जाएंगी और एकदम रिलैक्स भी हो जाएंगे। इसलिए एलोपैथिक के साथ अगर योग को करते हैं तो एलोपैथिक दवाइयां धीरे धीरे कम हो जाएंगी और वो मेंटल हेल्थ तो उनका वंडरफुल बनेगा ही बनेगा, क्योंकि वी वांट्स टू हैप्पीनेस। तो नो डाउट्स कि वो उभरने लगेंगे, खिलने लगेंगे और उनका जीवन बहुत ही खूबसूरत होगा।
In the coming days, these talks will also be available on Healthy Ram TV at healthyram.com. We now move on to our Art for Healing workshop. The last but not the least, we now move on to our Art for Healing workshop, where we bring in our esteemed artists, participants, and members to share their mind, say whatever they think about the initiative, and they share the experience with you. So we begin with Harsh in the Lumba to give a brief talk on mandala art. We welcome Harsh. Thank you so much for your unwavering support and dedication as Healthy Ram Nirmay Bharat community member and esteemed guest of honor during our Art for Healing workshop, and we truly appreciate you. Thank you for your continuous commitment and your presence.
Thank you, Sangeeta. It's wonderful to be a part of Mental Health Day. We are celebrating today at healthyram.com. And Today, as an art expert, I'm going to be doing this workshop with all our enthusiasts who've gathered here, and we are going to do mandala art, which has everything to do with the mental health and wellness of a human being. This form of art is very ancient. It originated in India, but right now it's been practiced mainly in Tibet and in Buddhist countries. Shinto religious forms and Indian Buddhist, Jainism, Hinduism. Mandala has been a very important form of art which was earlier used in the temples. It was basically for the monks to be when they were chanting their mantras, they were doing this art so that keeps them focused, calm, and in balance. So in today's gen, this is very, very important. The kind of life we're living, very stressful corporate lives, and the way these viruses have come up, the COVID, and people are having a very stressful life. So we need to have these kind of art forms in daily routine of a person, so that that person keeps a healthy lifestyle, and it keeps you focused, it keeps you calm, it keeps you de-stressed, and it helps your cognitive skills as well. I would recommend it for even elderly people, the ones who get into dementia and Alzheimer's diseases. These people should be doing this kind of art. It's not necessary that you need to draw and you need to know how to draw. You can simply color. You can simply download these beautiful abstract art forms from this very site of Hidaram, and you can start painting them every day, and you will see the difference in your general health, happiness and healthiness, I think.
Yeah, that's so nice. Thank you so much, Harsh. And if any one of you would like to ask any questions, you can just.
I have something to say.
Okay, please.
I've taken upon this journey for art for healing, which was in my college, but art has been speaking to me since my school days. Art was something that, so as a child, you look around, you think about things, what you want to do for your future, and what calls you, and what speaks to you. So, if I like dancing, there was someone who was better at me at dancing everywhere. Everywhere I looked, there was someone who was better than me at something. But for art, for me, art was like, it didn't matter if someone was better than me at art because it made me happy. So I did it for myself and for my happiness and for my mental health. And that's how it's been helping me throughout all these years. I remember when जब एग्जाम का टाइम होता था, सब लोग कहते थे पढ़ो पढ़ो पढ़ो, और मैं बीच में ब्रेक ले लेती थी और पेंटिंग बना रही होती थी. मेरी मम्मी आके पूछती थी क्या कर रहे हो? Even for my friend's birthday, I used to make a card, and I've always been very artistic and crafty, and this workshop has really helped me meet people like me. It has helped people who are going through things like me, and I have tried to get them out of it. So it's a good journey that we've all been on, and I'm happy that we're glad we're all here.
So nice. So nice. And Mr. Mehta, you've joined us for the first time. How do you think, like, what do you think about the concept, and what do you feel about our initiative?
Namaskar. It's very interesting, it's new to me, this mandala art and art form for spirituality, of health and happiness. I'm quite new to it. In fact, I'm not an art fan, but I would like to ask Harsha ji that are there some specific art forms or designs one should pursue, or any color combinations which are good? Now, especially for senior citizens, you mentioned 70 plus or this thing. So, do you recommend any specific art form or specific color they should use, or specific style? Because I'm very clumsy at, very frankly, I'm very clumsy at painting and all these things. Then it sometimes frustrates me when I'm not able to color, I smudge up a drawing, it frustrates me. So it should lead to happiness, not frustration. So how do you look at it, and how do you suggest or recommend for senior citizens especially? How should we go about it?
This is very interesting and important question. Why? Because Nikita just mentioned that when she was dancing or when she was trying to do some other extracurricular things, and she always found somebody else much better.
Yeah.
So art is not about the comparison. First thing we need to inculcate and even talk about with senior citizens or even with children that there is nothing wrong in art.
Okay.
This is very, very basic. Fine, when we are learning, when we are going into some technical studies, of course there are certain rules which you need to learn to equip yourself and to make yourself better technically. But there is nothing as such as wrong or right. The same way as in music. It just flows through you, art flows through you, and your colors will speak to you. Many times when I get some commissioned work, sometimes I need to do some commission artwork. So I ask people, what are the colors you like? What are the colors you do not like? And it's so sad that many times people have to really think hard to even, they don't even know which colors they really love or they don't like, which is a basic of our, we have chromotherapy, even it's been introduced in institutions and medical institutions already.
Okay.
So the color brown and red are considered darker colors, which is for chromotherapy in medical institutions, which are the colors of, there's something wrong in the body, in some organ. So from reds, browns to, you go towards blue. Blue is the green, blue, yellows, cool colors. They are the healthy colors.
Like the Vibgyor, the color.
The color of health.
Colors
of
you say,
that's why we say we do not paint our walls black, or we do not paint our walls red. Yeah, why? Because it will bring color. Every color has a sense.
Its own vibration, its own.
Yes, its own vibration, its own meaning, and it works on the psyche of a human being.
Like we at the Society for Happiness prefer yellow, most of you like that. I say yellow is the color for happiness. And
for
health.
the joy, for happiness, for sun, for hope.
That's it. But again, my next point is that there has to be a starting point. Like my friend sitting here, in one day he's made 12 paintings and they are each superlative. I get some feeling where should I start if I have to do, So is there a starting point from where I can start and graduate? Because I like your recommendation how I should go. Maybe drawing circles and squares to start with and then go for geometric forms to abstract forms?
Yes.
Or is it abstract to geometric? How do you prefer it? And I think he can tell, he's an art teacher of repute in Delhi and he can say how to go about it. Sir, would like to comment on it?
Basically, Mr. Mehta, you are saying whether this art has any formula or not, right?
Yeah.
So आर्ट के बारे में मैं ये कह सकता हूँ, आर्ट और इंजीनियरिंग अगर मैं दो चीज़ को कंपेयर करूँ, तो इंजीनियरिंग आदमी किसी भी एज में कर सकता है अगर वो स्टडीज में है। और आर्ट के लिए आपके पास तो एक नेचुरल टैलेंट बहुत ज़रूरी है, एस्थेटिक सेंस बहुत ज़रूरी है, तो आप आर्ट को आगे चला सकते हैं। आपकी नॉलेज कलर सभी के अंदर।
So in terms of Shakespeare, some are born great, some achieve greatness, some are great, trust upon them. So now I am trusting art on me at his old age. But anyway, I think it's a good, I'll take your advice, and I made some humble attempt today, but I would like to work on it.
It is very beautiful.
Try to see that, yes, but I'm a bit spiritually inclined. I feel that art can link spirituality also. Both art and music and everything is harmonized thing, and thank you so much. It's really very interesting.
आर्ट में मैं थोड़ा सा बताना चाहता हूँ कि it can be stressful. अगर आप किसी मकसद को लेके चल रहे हो और वो पूरा नहीं हो रहा, तो वो stressful हो सकता है, ठीक है? तो मैं इंस्पायर कर सकता हूँ एक बच्चे के हाथ से। वो बच्चे के हाथ में पेंसिल होती है और एक दीवार होती है, तो उसकी फ्लो देखो आपका, उसको कोई मकसद नहीं होता, एंजॉय करने के लिए पेंट करता है, राइट? तो हम किसी मकसद के लिए पेंट ना करें, हम प्रोफेशनल्स तो कर सकते हैं, लेकिन जनरल पब्लिक जो है वो अगर इन आर्ट को एंजॉय करने कोई मकसद के लिए नहीं एंजॉय
पर ऐसा है ना, तो देखिए आपने कर दिया, बाद में वाइट डांटने लगी, क्या कर दिया, तो दिक्कत हो जाती है ना। बच्चा तो करता है तो माँ टॉलरेट कर लेती है, जब बुढ़ा करता है तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है, तुम क्या कर रहे हो, देखो सब गंदा कर दिया, सफाई करो तुम बैठ के।
चाइल्ड इनसाइड एवरीवन तो उसको
I just on a lighter side, but yes, I definitely appreciate it, and we'll learn more today as we go out on the workshop and perhaps use it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And if you, what was your experience like? We would like to hear just a few words from you as well.
It has been really pleasurable, and ये सही है कि art is a form of express. आप अपने आप को express कर सकते हो, and stress कम हो जाता है जब आप बैठते and you enjoy doodling, और चाहे जैसे सर से कहना आप बस कुछ भी draw करो, कुछ भी बनाओ तो you'll feel relaxed. बहुत फर्क पड़ता है इस बात का.
True. Thank you so much.
As I'm talking to Nikita, art is like a poetry in color.
Wow.
She expresses, it's a poetry in color, you know, she expresses without, it doesn't have an agenda. It can start anywhere. Am I right, Nikita? It's a poetry in color. It's very good. I really talking to her and it's really good.
So beautiful.
Actually, I wrote a poetry which says, they call me reasons, excuses. I said, I'm the one who chooses. A place where everything loses. Divide this world, artists and muses.
Wow.
Good.
Beautiful. Very nice. And we close this conversation with this lovely thought. Thank you.
Immerse yourself in our Art for Healing workshop where you'll explore the therapeutic world of mandala art. Participate in an on-the-spot competition and let your creativity shine. Whether you're watching live or submitting your artwork online at healthyram.com, your participation will make a difference. Your participation can be the first step towards a healthier, more balanced workspace. So don't delay. Attend our workshop and let us together create a better future for our workplaces.
Support to empower. World Mental Health Day Mega Workshop.